Today I'm going to show you guys 5 tips and tricks to do better in Arena. Now I don't normally do this, but if you're really only going to watch this video for like 1 minute, just skip all the way to number 1. All right, number 1 in this list is the most important concept you need to understand about this game. Aside from that, I really hope you guys enjoy the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Number 5, understand how teams and characters work. This is actually very obvious yet very, very important. You need to understand who your opponents are. And chances are, when you go to Arena, you're going to see a lot of Batman Ninja teams, you're going to see a lot of multiverse teams, and you're going to see a lot of legendary teams, and so on and so forth. So you need to understand how every single character works, what their passives are, how their AI moves around, whether or not they have 2 or 3 hits in their fast attack, all of that stuff. It's really going to help you out in the long run, and it's going to help you pick out which fights you should be fighting and which ones you shouldn't be fighting. One quick example is, for me, sometimes I end up fighting this team. The team would be Arkham Knight Batman, Heartbreaker Harley Quinn, and Entangling Poison Ivy. Now, of course, that team consists of 2 League of Anarchy teams, and because it doesn't have Last Life Joker, sometimes I really do underestimate this team, and sometimes I forget that Arkham Knight Batman actually increases the dot damage that Heartbreaker Harley Quinn and his other teammates are going to do. Usually Heartbreaker Harley Quinn is a damage dealer, so she's usually my main problem, and again, I always forget that she becomes even more OP with Arkham Knight Batman. But I guess you could say my ego is too focused on the fact that, there is no Last Lap Joker. So sometimes I'll fight and then I'll remember, oh snap, this team is actually pretty good. And because I don't remember and because I don't know all of Arkham Knight Batman's passives and I don't know how this team works exactly, I end up losing the battle. So again, this is very important. You need to learn this. Number 1, go on YouTube, look up as much gameplay as you possibly can, use as many characters as you can. You're going to be losing a couple of times in the beginning, but then you'll get the hang of it. Number 4, refresh opponents with your high threat teams. This is actually very simple and it's going to get you a lot of points per battle. So for me, for example, I like using my Black Adam team, but my Black Adam team doesn't have a really high threat. They can do a lot of damage, but they don't have a lot of threat, which means that I'm not going to be getting a lot of points because my opponents are going to have low threat as well. So what I do is instead, I try to find opponents with another team. I like to find it with my King of Atlantis team since they have a really high threat. And then once I find the correct opponent, I will switch out my team to fight them with Black Adam. It's a very simple process. You'll be getting a lot of points. It's kind of hard to explain with words, so I'll just demonstrate it in the background with the gameplay. Just copy exactly the same thing that I do. Number 3, add defense. This is so simple, man. Defense does 2 very important things. Number 1, it helps you survive more in Arena because you're going to be taking way more damage than in raids. Brainiac, his attack is super low compared to his health, but in Arena, the characters that you're going to be fighting, they have a lot of attack. As a matter of fact, just like your teams, most likely, your opponent's teams are going to be built to fight in raids, which means that, again, they're going to be doing a lot of damage. Now, you might be asking, well, this isn't exactly a good thing either because, you're going to be doing less damage in raids. And for me, personally, this is the way I look at it, right? If I sacrifice the 1 gear talent or maybe just 2 talents or whatever it is to add defense, it really doesn't change how much damage you're going to do in raids. It really doesn't matter that much that you do like 5 million damage every single pip in raids. That doesn't matter too much, right? We need to focus on Champions Arena and also, like right now, what we're talking about, Arena. You're not going to get everything off of raids, so try to find that perfect middle ground so that you can add a little bit of defense and a little bit of health to your characters so that they can fare a little bit more in Arena. Plus, adding defense also gives you a little bit more threat, which means that you're going to be able to find more higher threat opponents. That's going to give you more points. Number 2, understand the divisions. This is going to be really hard to explain, and this is also going to be something that you're going to need to learn throughout the seasons. Everybody has their own different arena depending on when they created their account, so I cannot give accurate numbers. However, for me, after I started playing and, a few months in when I started playing Arena, I started to learn kind of how many points I had to be at in order to get to a certain division. Now, to get to Elite Four, it's actually very simple because it's written down for you. You kind of just go to the leaderboard, you go to the top 200 players, you go all the way to the bottom, and whoever's at the 200th place, you kind of just want to match the amount of points they have, and then you'll be good. You'll make it up to Elite Four. However, it's not written down for Elite 3, Elite 2, Elite 1, whatever other division below Division 4. So you're going to need to start to learn, depending on what season it is, how many people really want to get that character. The more people that want to get that character, the more competition you're going to have. So if it's someone like Dark Supergirl, you probably want to ballpark it. Let's say that you get, 5 million points, and then you can make it up to Elite 1. That's very simple, right? I can ballpark that right now because I've already learned the numbers throughout the time. But if it was Shazam, I don't know, I'd probably say like a ballpark would be like, let's say 8 million, and then you get up to Elite 1. somewhere around there. Of course, it's according to my division, which is what's going to be different for you. But as long as you just keep playing and you keep noticing these numbers, I promise you it's going to stick, and then you're going to be able to learn them really, really quickly. And it's also going to save you a lot of time. Number one, play the long game. Chances are, if you don't want to spend money on this game, you're going to need to wait a very, very long time to get a decent roster. All right. Either that or you're going to have to get really, really lucky off of chest. A lot of people in my comments tell me about how lucky they were, and that's really great. But unfortunately, that's not the case for the majority of people. So for the majority of people, you're going to need to be grinding out a lot, right? For me, when I first started, I was making it up only to like Division 1 or Competitor 2 or whatever it was. But every single time that I made it up to that division, you know what I would do? I wouldn't get frustrated or mad, even if I was at a low division. I would take all of my rewards, I would reinvest it back into my characters, and next time I would get to a higher division. And that just kept happening and happening and happening. Maybe not every single season I would get to a new division, but you get my point, right? You just keep climbing up and climbing up and climbing up. Everybody's going to have to do the exact same thing unless they want to spend money. All right. Most of you, again, I'm willing to bet, don't want to spend the money. So you're going to need to play the long game. You're going to have to play a lot of campaign. You're going to have to play a lot of raids, a lot of Champions Arena, a lot of regular arena. You're going to be getting really, really bad rewards in the beginning. But again, reinvest it back into your characters, and you're going to start getting better rewards over time. For me, I get really, really frustrated. I'm not going to lie. When people ask me questions about how to get to like Elite Four, when their threat roster is only at like 2,000 or something like that, or 200,000. Because to me, that kind of says like, what are you expecting? Like, how do you expect to get to Elite Four with that really low threat? You need to start building up your characters. A lot of people are really impatient, so that's the number one thing you're gonna have to learn: patience. Patience is key, man. Because again, I don't want you to spend your money, and I'm willing to bet you don't want to spend your money either. So as long as you just play the long game, you should be fine. Again, I know it's very frustrating in the beginning, but just stick to it, and you will be okay. All right, guys, that's the list. I really hope this helped you guys out in Arena. I know that there's a lot of different tricks in Arena to get to a higher division. These are just five of what I think to be the most important ones. These are like the foundations that I think everybody should know. But, there's other tips and tricks that you guys know. I would really like to hear them in the comments section. And that's about it. I really hope you guys have a nice day. Stay safe and stay clean.